Hi boys and girls, I'm here today with a short video on how to set your dude up to be a British Commando. So I'm going to be doing the loadout and the outfit. Start with the outfit and we'll go through it systematically. So first off, you want the beret, and you want the beret to be solid red beret. Next off, the vest that I use is the Tactec plate carrier, and for the hands I use the Oakley SI assault gloves. For the trousers I use the Apex pants with the knee pads. You can also use the ones without the knee pads. It doesn't make much of a difference. I just like it with the knee pads. And then for the shoes, I go Ranger boots, just black for them. Now for the accessories, no headset, no glasses. Now for the backpack, I'll go for the 3-day assault to give it that classic, 100 litre Bergen look, which is what all the commandos carry. Now for the top, I use the Expedition long sleeve shirt. I also use Scarf B as a face mask. In the colour I use the plaid one just to give it a bit of flavour. Really looks a bit Scottish. Patches, obviously you're going to be wanting the United Kingdom flag. I use the flag too. I'm not sure if there's any other flags for the United Kingdom. I'll have a look. Yeah, there's that, but it doesn't look very realistic, so I like the one I use, to be honest. No night vision. Now for CQC this doesn't matter too much because you don't really see the knife much unless you're doing takedowns, and even then it's just for a split second. I use the straight edge. Now if you want to go for the classic Commando knife, I think you've got two options that look similar, and that's the Besh wedge, which looks quite classic Commando-y, or there was, where was it? Is this it? Yeah, the Mark II. That has quite a classic Commando look about it. Now for the camouflage patterns, like I say, red beret naturally, but for the camouflage itself, you've got two choices. You've got the British DPM or multicam. The British DPM looks like this. This is your more classic and iconic British camo. This was what they used in the 80s, Falklands War, all that sort of era. But recently, I'm not quite sure when it was, but they switched to multicam, and so if you want to go for a more modern look, then you're going to want to use the multicam. I'll show you what my guy looks like with full multicam in a second. This is what commandos and the British Army in general use now, currently. But again, I just prefer the classic DPM. It's more of an iconic look. Now for weapons, you have quite a few choices depending on what kind of approach you really want to go for. So you have the L85C. So yeah, this is the SA80. It was introduced to the British Army in the 80s. This is the L85C. I'm not sure if L85C is an actual variant of it, but it's as close as you're going to get to the actual SA80, or L85A1 I think it was called. For the equipment on it, I use standard barrel, standard magazine, standard muzzle. About everything's pretty much standard, but I use the Comp M4 sight. For paint, I go for the olive drab look. Now this is not realistically how it was painted. It was mainly painted. This bit would have been sort of an olive drabby colour. This would have been black for the most part, but you can't really get that accurate. So what I've done is I've put it in olive drab, or olive, and I've put everything else. Oh, why is that brown? That's supposed to be black. Everything else as black, and that's as realistic as I think you can get the SA80 to look. Now if you want to go for the more old school look. Say the Falklands warrior. You've got the FAL here, FN FAL, which the British adopted it. I think they called it the L1A1 self-loading rifle, or the SLR for short. I think this came about in the 50s, I think like 54, 55, something like that. And it stuck about right up to the early 90s when it was finally replaced by the SA-80. So if you want to go old school, yeah, go for the FAL. It's pretty good. With this setup, it's pretty much everything is standard again. Come M4 sight. For the colour, I've just gone black. I've just made everything black because it looks more realistic to the gun itself. From what I've seen of photos and stuff, it's never really been pictured painted. It's mainly just been black. Now, if you want a LMG or support gun, then L86 was the gun that the British used and still use, I think, to this day as their support gun of choice. It's in the SA-80 family. It's basically the L85 but modified slightly for heavier use, putting down more fire. And as for this, really, it's I think I went for this, yeah, standard magazine, standard muzzle, and I just kept the grip pod from the start. Paint again is very similar to the L85C, olive, everything else black more or less. Now if you want to go a sniper, this is the obvious choice, the L11 5A3. I think this weapon's been around since the 90s, but it wasn't adopted by the army until 2008. It's the standard sniper of the British Army. So for this, I've just kept pretty much everything standard. Olive drab for the paint, again everything else black. That's pretty much the norm for all the setups for me. A bit of trivia for you: in 2009, a British Army sniper used one to score one of the longest shots, or longest recorded sniper shots in history. I think it was over 2 kilometers, like 2,400 meters or something like that. I think it might have even been the longest standing at the time, but I'm not sure on that. But yeah, it's a pretty good sniper rifle. Now for the sidearm, the British use a Glock, I believe, but I don't think they have one in game. So the closest I've found to it is the P320. So for the P320, which is standing in for the Glock, pretty much, yeah, standard magazine. For the paint again, olive drab. I'll keep most things olive in this time. And there we have it. I'd say that's all you need to set yourself up for a British Commando look. Please comment in the video if you think I've forgotten anything or you want to know more about anything of my setup, and I'll get back to you when I can. Thanks a lot, boys. In a bit.